updates on network performance, stake pool protocol changes, development improvements thanks to Demeter Run and Marlowe, and several community interviews from Rare Bloom. It's time for the weekly report. Welcome back to Woodland Pools. Today it's time for the weekly report. The last week of the month means Cardano 360. So what we'll do as always is we're going to go over what we thought were some of the highlights, but we'll link below all of the individual chapters so you can jump straight into any of these different sections and get additional detail. Also, stick around till the end. We have another installment of Anthony's Thoughts. Let's jump in. So they started off the month with a development update, and there were two specific updates from Kevin Hammond that I thought were really interesting. The first one was projects sharing with him the updates and improvements that they've seen since Vasil has been rolled out.
So D-Quadrant, their transaction fees have reduced by 75% and transaction sizes reduced by over 90%. Muesli Swap, transaction fees down by 50%. Transaction sizes also reduced over 90%. JPEG Store, transaction fees also reduced by 50%, transaction size reduced by 80%, and Fluid Tokens, the transaction size has also reduced by 50%. So really, really positive signs there. And this is exactly what we're expecting from our testing. So transaction fees are great, but of course the transaction sizes mean more throughput in the system. It means that we can process more transactions in the same amount of time. So this is fantastic.
And then the other one is you've probably seen on Twitter a lot of conversations going on about the different network parameters that affect stake pools, rewards, and distribution of stake. This is something that a lot of stake pool operators, especially small single pool operators, have been talking about and pushing for a really long time. And it sounds like we're finally starting to get some traction with IOG here, and it's really cool to hear these updates from Kevin.
So there's been a lot of debate from SPOs and others on various network parameters, including the number of stake pools, K, and the minimum fee. And obviously our primary concern is to maintain the health of the network, but adjusting these parameters is part of that. It helps improve the stake distribution, and obviously we see calls from many in the community for changes here. So we've started a consultation with the community. We met with a small group of SPOs last week, and we're putting out a wider consultation survey soon to SPOs, as well as establishing new joint working groups to move the conversation forward.
So some really interesting stuff there, and we'll keep you posted as we hear more. Next, there was a Dev Tools update with Santiago from TxPipe. And now if you're not a developer, before you click away, it's important for all of us that Dev Tools and the dev infrastructure on Cardano get better, because as that gets easier, then more people want to come and build here. Santiago makes a really good point here.
If you're a new developer coming to Cardano, you have a long onboarding process ahead of you. You need to set up a node, you need to sync it, you need to set up DB-Sync, you'll need Ogmios, and if you're going to be coding smart contracts, you'll need to set up the Haskell toolchain, Cabal, Nix, and a large number of build dependencies. All of this takes a lot of hours and even sometimes days. For many developers, this might be too much. Developers follow the path of less resistance. I know because I'm one of them. And they'll most likely use technologies that are simple and friendly to get started with. If we can show new developers what Cardano is all about in just a few minutes, I'm sure that they will be able to appreciate all of what the ecosystem has to offer, and they will stay on the long term.
And then from there, the way they're bringing it all together is with their newly released project, Demeter Run.
Demeter is a cloud-based platform that provides many of the tools that a developer needs to start building on Cardano. You can sign up, create a project, and in just a few minutes, you get access to a fully synced node, to a fully synced DB-Sync instance, to Ogmios, and many other tools from the ecosystem that we are planning on adding in the following weeks and months. We want to try to provide the full life cycle for the developer, from getting to know Cardano, to building on Cardano, and finally to deploy a dApp in Cardano.
So probably in the next few weeks, I'll do a video digging into Demeter Run, and we'll make an account and show you guys how easy it is to get up and running and just spin up a node and start developing on Cardano. Can't wait to see this built out more, and we'll dig in more soon. From there, those that are in the NFT scene, Josh has been talking for a long time about SeaWorld, this new project that he's the VP of, working with IOG and SeaFund. Basically, SeaWorld, their whole objective is to get more visibility of Cardano NFTs, get the name of those projects out there, and help them get up and running. Right now, they're doing a partnership and strategic investment in JPEG Store, but the idea is for this to grow out even more. Check out this chapter if you want to get more detail. From there was a full overview of Lace, the development process, and what problems they're looking to solve. Originally, they were looking at announcing the full release of Lace at Rare Bloom, but that's been pushed back. Hopefully, it'll get launched at the Cardano Summit in November. We'll let you know if there's more news that comes out about that there. There were a couple of interviews with the Lace team, and here the Lace team sat down with Goose from Ada Handle, talking about the different integrations that they're planning on doing with the Lace wallet to Ada Handle. And then Goose is also talking about the future of Ada Handle and how they want to move into decentralized identifiers and how these DIDs can work with Lace and other wallets. Really cool stuff. Again, we have to do a deep dive on DIDs and Atala Prism and all of that. I've been talking about it for a while. But for now, this is a good overview on where this can go and how these different projects can work together to make this easier. So I recommend you check this section out as well. From there was an interview with Bullish Dumping, which I've only recently even got to meet in person. Her content and mission originally was to bring visibility of Cardano and remove a lot of the FUD from the audience that was trying to learn in China. But since then, she's been doing really cool Twitter spaces where projects can come on, talk about their projects, take questions from people that are in the audience, and she moderates these discussions. And the result has been a really great venue for trust building, where anybody can come and ask these projects their plans, what they're doing, what things they've thought about, how they're going to mitigate certain problems, and have a very frank but polite discussion back and forth. She's been a huge asset to the Cardano ecosystem on Twitter, and if you're not following her there, you definitely should be. You'll be able to learn a lot about a lot of different projects. From there, we had another update on Marlowe and a refresher again on what Marlowe is.
So there's a lot of financial innovation in the blockchain industry, but it's still a pretty complex, error-prone, and expensive process to design and integrate smart contracts, even for the seasoned developer. Marlowe's domain-specific language, or DSL, and suite of products help address some of these complexities. They make it easier to write, deploy, inspect, and even integrate proof-based financial smart contracts into new or existing systems.
Which once again drives home the whole point that the easier we make it for people to come on board and work with Cardano, the quicker we can get real adoption to solve real problems. Once the Marlowe playground is upgraded and you can actually launch things on the testnet and on the mainnet, we'll also do a deep dive to Marlowe and show you all how you can write your own smart contracts without having to know how to write any Plutus or Haskell code. If you live near Scotland, IOG is putting together a remote event on the 18th and 19th of November, so right before the Cardano Summit. This is going to be live streamed around the world, so we'll share details as we hear more, but it's the first time I've heard about it, so I wanted to make sure it was on your radar. And at the tail end of 360 was a live interview with Hosky himself. And with that, it's probably a good time to transition to our favorite meme maker, and we'll leave you with Anthony's thoughts. We'll see you next week.
Yo, Cardano! What's going on, guys? I want to thank everyone who participated in the giveaway in week 1. You guys are the best. I'm never going to give you up. I'm getting ready to go on vacation, actually, so this week I'm not going to be around much. But I need some ideas for content, especially like meme templates. Lately I've been watching Andor, the Star Wars show, and House of the Dragon just wrapped up. So, like, let me know what you guys are watching and what you want to see memes of. Happy Halloween.